I'm 85 years old, and if you met me today, you might think I had it all figured out, but I didn't. In fact, most of my life was quietly shaped and slowly damaged by 5 habits. I didn't even realize were destroying me. The dangerous part, they didn't feel wrong at the time. They felt normal, responsible, even necessary. That's how these habits work. They don't break you overnight. They take years, decades, and by the time you finally see the truth, most of your life has already passed. I'm telling you this now because if you recognize even one of these in yourself, you still have time to change something I never did soon enough. The first habit that ruined me was always saying yes when I should have said no. I thought being a good man meant being available to everyone, family, friends, colleagues. I took on responsibilities that weren't mine, fixed problems that weren't my fault, and carried burdens that slowly drained me. At work, I stayed late not because I had to, but because I couldn't disappoint anyone. At home, I agreed to things even when I was exhausted. I thought I was building respect. But what I was really building was quiet resentment inside myself. The truth is, every time you say yes to something that costs you your peace, you're saying no to yourself. And I said no to myself for decades. By the time I realized it, I didn't even know what I truly wanted anymore. The second habit was chasing money like it was the answer to everything. I convinced myself that once I earned enough, everything else would fall into place. Happiness, respect, security. So I worked harder, longer, endlessly. I missed dinners, ignored small moments, postponed time with the people who loved me. I told myself, I'm doing this for them. But what I didn't see was what I was losing in the process. The laughter I wasn't there for. The conversations that never happened. The relationships that slowly became distant. Money can solve problems, yes, but it cannot replace presence. And one day, when I finally had enough, I realized something painful. I had traded moments. I could never get back for something that was never meant to replace them.
The third habit was living in fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. I stayed in situations
that made me unhappy simply because they were familiar. I didn't take risks, not because I couldn't, but because I was afraid of what people would think if I failed. I remember opportunities that came my way, new paths, new ideas, but I always found a reason to stay where I was. It's safer, I told myself.
But safe doesn't mean fulfilled. Safe doesn't mean alive. Fear doesn't just stop you from losing.
It stops you from growing. And when you look back, the things you regret most are not the failures, It's the chances you never took. The fourth habit was holding on to the past, especially the pain. I replayed old mistakes in my mind again and again. Things I said, things I should have said, moments I wish I could change. I held on to anger toward people who hurt me, thinking it gave me control. But all it really did was keep me stuck. The past doesn't change, no matter how many times you revisit it. And the truth is, letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about deciding that your future matters more than your past. The fifth habit, the one that tied everything together, was believing I had time. Time to fix things, time to reconnect, time to rest, time to live. I told myself, I'll do it later. Later became next year. Next year became someday. And someday never came. This is the most dangerous habit of all because it feels harmless. You don't notice it stealing from you. But it does, quietly, consistently, until one day you wake up and realize there are things you can no longer do, people you can no longer reach, moments you can no longer create. Time is the one thing you can't earn back, no matter how hard you try. If you're listening to me right now, I don't want you to feel regret. I want you to feel awareness. Because awareness gives you something I didn't have for most of my life, a chance to choose differently. You can say no when it matters. You can prioritize people over pressure. You can take risks, even small ones. You can let go of what's behind you. And most importantly, you can stop waiting. Real change doesn't come from big, dramatic decisions. It comes from small, consistent choices. One honest decision at a time. At 85, I can't go back and rewrite my story. But you can still shape yours. And if my mistakes can help you avoid even one of these habits, then maybe they weren't wasted. Because the truth is simple. Your life doesn't get ruined all at once. It happens quietly through the things you repeat every day. And in the same way, it can be rebuilt. One decision at a time.